What if I told you New England's last vampire never sipped a single drop of blood? She lay in perfect repose in her coffin. Her neighbors were sick and wasting away, so they cut out her heart, burned it to ash, and made her dying brother drink it, believing it to be a cure. Tonight, on Secret Spells and Shadows, we descend into the chilling tale of Mercy Brown, the Rhode Island girl whose untouched corpse stirred a village to exhumation and desperate ritual in the dead of winter 1892. I am Victoria Unikel, artist and media mogul by day, and modern witch exorcista by night. Every Thursday, we uncover a true tale proving the world has always been darker than fiction. If you are ready, hit like and subscribe, and let's begin. Let's step into a frozen January night in 1892, Rhode Island, where fear of a vampire pushed townsfolk to open Mercy Brown's grave. In January 1892, Exeter, Rhode Island, was buried under deep snow. Tuberculosis had already struck the Brown family twice. Mary Eliza, the mother, died first. The oldest daughter, Mary Olive, followed a year later. Then the disease took 19-year-old Mercy Lena Brown. Because the ground was frozen, neighbors set her pine coffin in an above-ground vault at Chestnut Hill Cemetery until the soil could be dug in spring. Her brother Edwin, 24, was sick as well. He had tried the clean air of Colorado Springs, but returned weaker, coughing blood and losing weight fast. By February, he complained that something pressed on his chest at night. In local folklore, that sign meant a dead relative was draining life from the living. People called that spirit a vampire. The accepted cure was simple and brutal. Dig up the suspected corpse, destroy its heart, and feed the ashes to the victim. 20 townspeople took a signed request to George Brown, Mercy's father. At first, he refused. When Edwin's fever rose and his breath rattled, George gave in. Dr. Harold Metcalf, the town physician and coroner, agreed to supervise the exhumation to prevent claims of witchcraft. They chose March 17th, a clear, cold morning. A group of farmers, town officials, and Dr. Metcalf carried shovels, lanterns, and a small iron brazier up to the cemetery. They opened Mary Eliza's grave first. Only bones and worn clothes remained. Mary Olive's grave showed the same. Last, they pulled Mercy's coffin from the receiving vault. Frost was still on the latch. When Dr. Metcalf lifted the lid, many witnesses gasped. Mercy looked nearly unchanged. Her skin was intact, her hair glossy, and when the doctor cut into her chest, fresh blood pooled around the heart. To the farmers, Mercy was the cause of Edwin's decline. Dr. Metcalf removed her heart and liver and placed them on the brazier. As the organs burned, the crowd watched in uneasy silence. Once reduced to ash, they mixed the remains with spring water and carried the mixture to the Brown farmhouse. Edwin drank the liquid in a few bitter swallows. It didn't save him. He died in May, another victim of the same disease. During the 1800s, many families performed similar rituals whenever consumption took one member after another. In Jewett City, Connecticut, the Ray family opened 3 graves in 1854. Vermont towns had followed the same practice in earlier decades. Reporters from the Providence Journal learned of the Exeter event and printed the story under the headline, "Vampire Horror in Rhode Island." Papers in Boston, New York, and London repeated the tale, calling Mercy the last New England vampire. Ministers condemned the act as superstition. Doctors pointed to bacteria as the true cause. Still, letters poured into Exeter, asking for details on how to find and stop a vampire. The Brown family, already grieving, now faced curious crowds. George Brown said little in public. He allowed no further graves to be opened when other relatives began to cough. He told the reporter, "I did what the town thought necessary to save my son." The attention faded once summer arrived, but curious visitors kept chipping pieces from Mercy's headstone until church officials put it behind iron bars. By the early 1900s, scientific understanding of tuberculosis improved, and eventually antibiotics turned the disease from a death sentence into a treatable infection. The old vampire rituals stopped, yet Mercy's story survived. Each March, some locals still placed flowers near the flat stone where her organs were burned. Tourists left pennies and notes apologizing for what had happened. Historians later explained that Mercy's body had been preserved only because it was kept below freezing. The fresh blood was a normal result once the corpse defrosted. The Exeter case became a reminder of how fear can guide desperate acts. When science is absent, legends fill the gap, and stories can shape life and death choices. Mercy's exhumation was not an isolated event. New England had long been haunted by consumption and its mythical curse. Jewett City Panic, 1854. The Ray family had opened 3 graves after the youngest son wasted away. Hearts had been burned on a blacksmith forge. Frederick Ransom, 1817. In Woodstock, Vermont, villagers had exhumed an university student, believing he fed on kin. His internal organs had been burned in the town square. Daniel Buck's children, 1793 to 1827. In Manchester, Vermont, 2 siblings had been repeatedly exhumed with each new case of consumption. Each act had shared the same desperate logic. One body for many lives, one heart for a villager's fragile peace. History feared bodies that refused to rot, but the horror lay in how fast myth and fear would take over. Have you ever watched fear turn good people into believers of dark remedies? Did you step away from the grave or past the tomb of ashes? Tell me in the comments. Subscribe, my darlings, and meet me next Thursday for another descent into secret spells and shadows. Until then, stay safe, stay sharp, and trust no story that asks for your heartbeat.